Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are heading out into the wilderness, so to speak.
Into the West Virginia hills, to be exact.
Right. We're going deep into the world of off-grid living with Nate Petroski.
Of Narroway Homestead fame.
You know him, you love him. If not, well, you're in for a treat.
Definitely. He's been documenting his journey towards self-sufficiency on YouTube for over 3 years.
And, well, we're going to be focusing on what he accomplished in 2023.
A pivotal year for sure. Lots of ingenuity, lots of resourcefulness.
Some seriously impressive strides.
It's fascinating because he's not just surviving out there.
Right.
It's like he's intentionally designing a sustainable system for the long haul.
He's really thinking long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And 2023 was the year he implemented some really clever solutions to some classic off-grid challenges.
Right. Like, remember when he was living in that old camper?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was pretty cramped, to say the least.
Yeah, it was definitely showing its age. But Nate, ever the pragmatist, he found a pretty brilliant temporary solution while he works on building his dream house.
And by temporary solution, you mean?
He converted half of his storage building into a more permanent living space.
Which he so aptly named
Headquarters.
Love it.
It really speaks volumes about his resourcefulness,
Yeah.
making the most of what he has.
While still keeping his eye on the bigger picture.
Exactly. And now, plus, he's got that camper freed
But
up.
other uses down the line.
It's like a chess move, thinking several steps ahead.
And speaking of clever solutions, we have to talk about the composting toilet situation.
Oh yeah, the ouse, as he so lovingly calls it.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Not exactly a glamorous topic, but trust me, Nate's design is seriously impressive.
Seriously impressive. And a great example of his commitment to sustainability.
Yeah.
Whole thing built with recycled materials.
That's amazing.
But the real standout is how he tackles a common concern with composting toilets.
I'm definitely curious. Go on.
Odor control. That's the big one.
Did he, use any fancy technology for that?
Not at all. It's a combination of active and passive ventilation.
Clever.
So he's got a solar-powered fan doing some of the work, but he also painted the vent pipes black.
Interesting.
So they absorb heat from the sun.
So simple yet.
Which creates this upward draft, pulling air through the system.
So ingenious.
Super simple, super effective, and sustainable.
You don't always need high-tech solutions for off-grid living.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best.
And, get this, he even put a second house in a different location on the property.
For practicality.
The man thinks of everything.
It's clear that Nate puts a lot of thought into the placement and function of, everything on his homestead.
He really is building a thoughtfully designed, self-sufficient lifestyle.
And that extends to his approach to raising animals, too.
Speaking of, we've got to talk about his duck dynasty.
Right. He started with 6 ducks, but through some successful hatching.
He ended up with a whopping 22 ducks waddling around those beautiful West Virginia hills.
It's a lovely image.
It is.
But all those ducks actually led to a pretty serious problem for Nate.
Oh no, what happened?
Predators, specifically red-tailed hawks, who developed quite a liking for his feathered friends.
Oh, that's awful. What did he do? He couldn't exactly stand guard all day.
Well, this is where things get interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
So, Nate already had a dog, Minion, a small but feisty companion.
Yeah, I love Minion.
But a 19-pound dog isn't exactly a match for a hungry hawk.
No, definitely not.
So Nate decided to bring in some reinforcements.
Enter Al.
The Turkish Boz Shepherd, a livestock guardian dog in training.
He's gonna be huge.
Oh, yeah. And get this, little Minion is actually helping to train him.
Oh, that is so sweet.
It's adorable. This tiny dog mentoring this future 100-pound protector.
I love that.
It really speaks to the bond Nate has with his animals,
They're more than just livestock to him.
They're all part of his homestead's ecosystem.
All playing their part.
Absolutely. Oh, and let's not forget Saber and Dagger.
The feline rodent control specialist.
Exactly. Keeping those mice in check, which is especially important with Nate's outdoor kitchen setup.
Every creature has its role to play in a successful off-grid setup.
Speaking of roles, Nate's journey isn't just about, homesteading.
It's about building a business, too.
A business that reflects his values.
Yeah, his online store, narrowwayhomestead.com, really highlights that entrepreneurial side of him.
You can find everything there, roasted coffee, beard care products.
Even home goods. And
the best part is he prioritizes ethical sourcing and partners with small businesses whenever possible.
He really walks the walk.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And it's clearly resonating with people because his sales grew 2.5 times last year compared to the year before.
Wow, that's huge.
And a lot of that is thanks to his YouTube viewers.
People are clearly drawn to his, authenticity.
And his message.
It makes you wonder, is this growing interest in off-grid living?
Like a sign of the times?
Are people just craving a more sustainable, self-sufficient way of life?
It's a good question. Now let's take a virtual tour of headquarters.
Oh yeah, let's see what he's done with the place.
Nate's video walkthrough gives us a fantastic look at how he converted the storage building into this amazing living space.
It's really incredible what he's done with it.
It's remarkable the ingenuity in this conversion.
It really is.
From repurposed materials to clever space-saving solutions.
Yeah.
He's clearly put a lot of thought into maximizing every inch of headquarters.
Functionality was definitely a top priority.
Oh, absolutely. Even the mudroom is carefully designed.
He's got dedicated areas for firewood, tools.
Wet and dry kindling.
All about efficiency, being prepared.
Right. It acts as a buffer zone, protecting the main living area from the elements.
And keeping things organized.
He really emphasizes its importance in the video.
And then you step into the main living space.
It's amazing how he's made the most of a smaller footprint.
The kitchen might be compact.
But it's got everything he needs.
Even a washer-dryer combo.
He managed to squeeze it in.
Integrating modern conveniences into an off-grid setup.
Thoughtfully, of course.
He's not sacrificing comfort, just being strategic.
Exactly.
Right.
And of course, no off-grid home is complete without
New wood stove.
the heart of the home.
Providing heat, cooking capabilities.
Even hot water.
I was blown away by his copper coil system.
That uses the stove's heat to warm the water for the shower, sink.
And washing machine.
It's brilliant. DIY engineering at its finest.
A simple solution, but so effective.
Perfectly suited to his off-grid lifestyle.
Like he's hacked the system using basic physics.
And I love all those little details he includes.
Like a dining room table.
That folds up small but can be extended with leaves for guests.
So smart, so flexible.
It's interesting how he balances practicality with personality.
Yeah.
Like in his office, you see his computer setup, his giant TV.
Even a Death Star light.
It's a reminder that off-grid living doesn't mean giving up your interests or hobbies.
You can still express yourself.
Exactly. And then there's Robot.
His robot vacuum.
Keeping things tidy.
Some modern conveniences are just too good to resist.
Totally. Striking that balance between technology and traditional methods.
And speaking of balance, the bedroom is surprisingly spacious.
He's got a king-size bed, even plans for built-in charging stations.
And additional shelving. Always thinking ahead.
Constantly improving his space, making it more functional.
And that back deck. The view he shows in the video is breathtaking.
It's got to be one of his favorite spots.
You can just feel the peace and quiet.
It highlights the appeal of off-grid living, that connection to nature.
It's not about deprivation.
It's about finding beauty in a simpler life.
And it's amazing how seamlessly his animals are integrated into his daily routine.
Right.
Minion, Owl, the cat.
Just casually hanging out.
It's a real sense of harmony.
Interconnectedness.
Yeah, it really defines Nate's homestead.
His life is a testament to the possibilities of self-sufficiency.
Sustainable living.
It challenges us to consider what a fulfilling life truly means.
It makes you wonder, could we incorporate some of these principles into our own lives?
Maybe it's growing some of our own food, reducing our reliance on the grid.
Or just being more mindful about our consumption habits.
Absolutely. Even small steps can make a difference.
What stood out to you most about Nate's approach?
Well, for me, the composting toilet was a real game changer.
It's amazing what he did with that.
It made me realize there are innovative and sustainable solutions out there for things we often take for granted.
I think that's a really important point.
And I'm also inspired by how Nate's turned his passion into a thriving business.
A business that aligns with his values.
That entrepreneurial aspect is fascinating.
He's proven you can create a livelihood that supports a sustainable lifestyle.
And connect with like-minded people.
It's really encouraging, his story.
It shows there are alternative ways to live and thrive outside of conventional norms.
It's a reminder that we have choices.
Choices that can lead to a more fulfilling and sustainable future.
For ourselves and for the planet. It really does make you think. So what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Right. Like, would you consider adopting any aspects of Nate's approach? To off-grid living, or even entrepreneurship?
Maybe you're thinking about I don't know, starting a small herb garden in your backyard.
Or trying a composting system.
Or maybe even exploring a business idea that, really aligns with your passions.
He makes it seem like it's all possible.
It is. I think it's about taking those small steps.
Yeah, no matter how insignificant they might seem at first.
And recognizing that ripple effect,
Exactly. Even if you're not ready to, go completely off-grid.
There are still so many ways to incorporate those elements of, self-sufficiency
Sustainability.
in your life, even in a small way.
Absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe Nate's story will inspire you to,
take a leap.
Yeah, start your own, homesteading adventure.
Even on a smaller scale.
Right. Maybe set up a rain barrel to collect water, or really commit to reducing your energy consumption.
It all adds up.
The key takeaway here is that we all have the power to make those positive changes.
And Nate's story is a perfect example of that.
It really is. If you're feeling inspired and want to see Nate's homestead in action, we highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel.
Narroway Homestead.
You'll find tons of information, practical tips,
and beautiful footage of his life out there in the West Virginia wilderness.
It's really something. You'll see firsthand the ingenuity,
resourcefulness
that have made his off-grid journey such a success.
It's inspiring.
It really is. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of off-grid living with Nate Petroski.
We hope you found it insightful,
inspiring,
and maybe even a little bit challenging.
In the best way possible.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep striving to create a life that reflects your values.
And contributes to a better world.
We'll see you next time.